Thank you, Mark. And for our next session, it will be about robotics. And it's definitely not the robotics that you can imagine. But I think you may have seen its product somewhere. So let's welcome MQ Wang. He's the co-founder and the CEO of 00 Robotics. Let's welcome.
Thank you, and it's good to be here. My name is MQ Wang. I'm the founder and CEO of 00 Robotics. We are a very small startup, actually headquartered in Beijing, China. But a lot of the team members, and myself included, have academic and professional roots here in Silicon Valley. So both me and my co-founder Tony, we attended Stanford and completed our PhD degrees in engineering. We started this in 2014. I'm very, very excited to come here and then share with you some of the thinkings that went behind our product and how we see robotics fitting into people's lives. Right. So a lot of people who have a strong engineering background tend to solve problems from the engineering perspective, which is you have this hammer and you're looking for nails to bang on. We started off this company asking the reverse question. We believe that the best technology are the ones that would actually improve your life. They don't just have to be cool or fancy or arcane that people don't understand. It should be technology that's simple, that's easy for the average consumer or the average users. So we start asking the question, why are photos and videos so important? I don't think anyone will argue with me that those are probably the most important applications in our lives these days, right? Everybody have taken many, many photos and videos using your phone. I think fundamentally it has something to do with our memory system, right? So, our brain is not built to keep very specific memories about the exact happenings. So, 2 years from today, when I look back at this event, I'll remember being here talking about this, but I don't have this image that I'm seeing right now burned into my brain. When I click that button and snap a photo, in a way, it's digitizing this moment in history and extending my memory. So life is all about memories, and a lot of our memories are not being captured today, just because the way that we take photos and videos, right? So if you think back of your last trip with your family, the last vacation you took, right? You're probably at somewhere beautiful and enjoying the moment, but when you want to take that photo, you stop whatever that you're doing, and you try to look for someone who can hold the camera for you, and then you recompose the moment, right? By sort of doing some poses or fake a smile or not, right? So we want to build devices that will extend the perspective that we have on our lives. So the easy starting point is to offer an alternative perspective, right? So instead of shooting everything from the first-person perspective, let's add the third-person perspective, so the God's view or the bird-eye view. And this kind of brings us to drones. And the way that drones in the past have interacted with us in our lives is it's usually pretty big and very dangerous. It has open blades. You fly high up to film maybe a bridge or some landscape or a river. It's not really about you, right? It's mostly about the view. So every footage that people took with their aerial photography drone looks like a scene that's cut from a documentary. So we wanted to build devices that's about you, that's that's used for capturing the memories that you care most, right? With your family, with the ones that you love. So let me just show you some of the photos that our actual users have taken with hover camera. This is a very small sample of the kind of things that people use hover camera for. So on a family vacation like this, you don't need someone to jump really high to take this photo for you. And you get to keep sort of the intimacy with your family You might be stuck at work late at night and you just kind of want to send this to your boss. Look, I'm still here, right? Working in my cubicle. Those are moments that are not captured today. I really like the picture on the left. Imagine how you could get this done today, right? Like, you find this friend or stranger and you go like, can you hold the camera? And by the way, I'm about to hug or, my girlfriend and kiss her, and then please capture that exact moment. That just doesn't work, that way. And you have some new perspectives, looking down from above. Like some crazy stunts that you can do on a car. And this is one of my favorite pictures from our users, right? And I would actually challenge the audience. How many of you actually have this picture at home in a picture frame or on your wall, other than your wedding photo, right? So people hire professional photographers to go on vacations with them. How ridiculous is that? Think about it, right? Like, there's a real market in China today where young couples, they hire entire crew, 2-3 guys, to travel around Europe with them, right? Everywhere you go, you have to take care of those guys, and then you pay them, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of RMB to take this picture. But this is a shot that you can take on a weekend trip. And it's not taken by a human, it's taken by a small robotic device. This is, again, another group of photos that I really, really like, right? So just a young father taking his daughter out on a Sunday afternoon, but the mom is busy or the mom is, shopping. You don't have those pictures at home today because no one is there to capture those moments for you. And this is how we see, an easy-to-use personal robotics device could come in and help out. Okay, so, sorry, I'm very bad at this. So, let me see. Yeah, so these are also shots taken by our users. Right? He's just kind of roller skating at a park in Beijing and have this device following him completely autonomously, right? There's no one controlling it. And again, this is not something that even a human pilot can do because you're controlling 5 degrees of freedom at the same time, and no one can fly a trajectory that smooth, right? So in some sense, I think, robotics or robots are better than us at doing certain tasks like this. Let me show you more. So, so this is just a very short sort of intro video of our product. Some of you might have seen this, but so it has this release and hover feature. When you let go, it just kind of hovers. One of the most important things is it's very safe. So the propellers are guarded with a carbon fiber grill so that you can just reach and then snap it from the air. We have a lot of very young users, kids who love playing with this. So yeah, I'm going to skip it for time's sake. I have a friend who actually bought our product. He lives here. And he was messaging me the other day on Facebook, and he said, hey, I have a problem after I bought it. He has a 7-year-old boy at home. And he said, my son, he wouldn't go to sleep if he doesn't fly every day. Right? So it's kind of interesting, how when I look back at my childhood, I was completely obsessed with the Transformer toy where, all you can do is just to twist it and then change it into different shapes. But kids these days, they're going to grow up with devices like this. And I think it's going to broaden their imagination or what they think is possible. So some of the key features of our product, it's very safe, like I said. It's very light. It's only 242 grams, so less than half a pound. And it's under the used to be FAA weight limit regulation, right? So 250 grams. And most importantly, it's very easy to use. So there's a single button, you press it, and when you let go, it just hovers. we've after the initial launch, we've introduced, we're continuing introducing new features. So, for example, one of the features is called owner recognition. So, your hover camera actually remembers you as its owner. So when you let go, it will just kind of scan the parameter and try to look for you. And once it finds you, it will start auto following you and auto composing the shot for you. We're also the first company that actually introduced gesture control to the device that will allow you to have a complete interaction free of your cell phone, right? So you can just throw it out there. When you give it the sort of like this V sign, looks familiar, Asian hand, that's what we call it, right? It would take a photo, and when you give it like the OK sign, it would just stop auto following you. Yeah. So I don't want to go too deep into the technology, but most of what we do involves kind of building computer vision into embedded systems and have it run on a really small device. And we're very thankful for the advancement in mobile phones in the past few years, right? Because without the development of the mobile platform, we would never be able to build a device like this. It packs a lot of computational power into this small device. So there's the Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 chipset, which is 2.3 gigahertz quad core plus a GPU, and the ADSP and the NDSP. So it's very, very powerful. So it runs, sort of optical flow or visual inertial odometry, allows it to analyze its surrounding environment at 60 frames per second. And it also runs proprietary sort of people recognition and tracking algorithms. Yeah, and let me show you a video. So this is how good it could get at sort of localizing itself, right? So you can actually like this is when the device is hovering, it's flying. You can put a coin on top of it and it wouldn't topple. We can control the vertical and the horizontal movement. Well, this is done with a combination of advanced sort of computer vision algorithms, but also flight control algorithms, so that the vertical and the horizontal movement is within 5 millimeter, right? So literally it kind of is frozen in time. Yeah, so we did a soft launch back in October last year in Beijing. And since then, we've gotten a lot of sort of media coverage, and we're very flattered. I think when we first launched, people had a lot of doubts, right? Like, is there a real market for this? And is this like even possible? Blah blah blah. I think it's still too early to say, whether this is something that's really going to impact a lot of people's lives. But we're seeing some very, very promising signs, and a lot of our users, they've grown to really love the product, and that's what kind of flatters us. We've won some of the most sort of prominent design awards, Red Dot, IF, and CES, and so on. Yeah. So we're very fortunate to be partnering with Apple. In April this year, we've launched globally in all the Apple stores. I think I just checked the Palo Alto store; it was sold out. So hopefully this trend will continue. But you can actually find hover camera at all those Apple stores. I brought 2 devices with me today, and we're gonna run a little lottery at the end of my talk and try to pick a name card. So one of you guys will get it now. And at the end of the whole event, we're going to do another round of lottery. So gifts from us. Yeah. This is what happened on the day of launch with Apple. So just to summarize, our mission is actually quite simple, right? So we are strongly believing the fact that those moments should be captured, and they should be at every single home. That there's something fundamentally wrong with the way that we take photos for the past 160 years, where we're artificially composing moments instead of capturing those moments. And we want to make that a reality through sort of robotic devices. Yeah, so your life with hover camera when tech meets art. Thank you, and that's it.